Hey Bass College fans, we're here with Davy Hite after the second day of the West Point tournament in Georgia. We're going to ask him a few questions. How did today go, man? What'd you catch?
Well, I had 11-11 today, and that's pretty good here. It's not what I want to do. I'd like to go catch a 15 to 18 pound stringer, but I had 9-9 yesterday and 11 pounds 11 ounces today, and I think at the end of the day I'll be in the top 10. So as long as you're around on Sunday. And I hope I can, catch me a few tomorrow and be there on Sunday.
I hear you. How was your practice? Is it different than what you've experienced?
Yeah, it's really changed a lot. The water came up a lot each day, and it's just things have been changing. It seems like every tournament we've had this year, there's been a cold front come in and the wind blow and the temperatures go down, and it's the water probably came up almost 2 feet from the first day of practice to the first day of tournament, and then yesterday it started dropping, and today it's dropped. It's probably dropped close to a foot back. So
well, at least they're running current. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe there's somewhere biting on. Yeah. They're waiting for you, man. How do you think the weather tomorrow with the rain and the winds moving in? How do you think it's going to affect the bite for at least what you got going on?
Well, I just think you got to try to adjust to it, and it's hard to do during the tournament, especially when you've had a little success. Nature makes you want to go back and do the things you've done in the previous days when you've had some good success. But, I'll just tie on about a dozen all-star rods and fluker reels and about a dozen different baits and just go fishing. And, start off tomorrow morning kind of what I've been doing, and then just fish the conditions, because it's supposed to be 20 degrees cooler and wind really blowing tomorrow.
Okay. Are there any sponsored baits you'd like to bring out that's really made a difference for your tournament here with the close weights?
Well, I've caught some fish on the scatter rack, Rapala scatter rack crankbait. I've caught fish on like 3 or 4 different lures, but that scatter rack has kind of taken the whole fishing world by storm, and it's a really good bait. And this is the first tournament where really the conditions have been conducive to use it, and I've done good on it this week.
It's good to have it, man. Immediate post-spawn tips. Where some of these people are saying that the fish are in a kind of a spawn-type funk. Let's actually digress and say some post-spawn tips. What are the first things you start looking for?
Well, it depends on the lake. With the water coming up, these fish have stayed shallow. The water temperature is good and the water level has been good. Now it's falling back, so those fish might pull off a little bit more. But those fish have stayed shallow. They're just hard to catch, and you've got to, I mentioned that scatter rack crankbait. It's a bait that darts and is real erratic, and it just makes the predator instinct come out in that fish. I do that some, and then I go the total opposite, and I go real finesse. Wacky worm, flutter worm, trigger X goo bug. I'm flipping that a little bit too. Just doing different things. But post spawn is it can really be challenging. Some lakes, those fish just seem like they swim out to the ledges and start biting big crankbaits and that sort of thing. But here, these fish have stayed shallow, and you just got to use a lot of different baits and try to get a good key bite.
All right, one last question. We're going to finish it off for you. What bait are you willing to say that's made you the most money so far this year?
I don't know any year, but that question's easy to answer in my career. It's been a jig, and my favorite is a Buckeye mop jig. And I think a lot of people kind of relate that bait to me and me to that bait because, I've been very fortunate to win a good bit of money in tournaments, and the number one bait through my career has definitely been a mop jig.
All right, Davey, we want to thank you for standing here and talking to us and sharing your wisdom. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you, man.